Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive shift in how software is actually built. We're looking at a completely new paradigm where just one founder, armed with the right AI stack, can literally do the work of an entire traditional engineering org. It sounds kind of like science fiction, right? But looking ahead to 2026, it's absolutely our new reality.
So can one single engineer actually replace a whole development team? Well, let's dive right into this. Because replacing junior devs, DevOps, QA, and even customer support, that's not just internet hype anymore. It's a highly practical setup we can orchestrate today. We are officially moving past the days where scaling your product automatically meant you had to scale a massive human headcount. Here's our quick roadmap for today. First, transitioning from executor to orchestrator. Then, we'll meet your new AI developers, set up management and architecture, automate your ops and support, do a quick reality check, and finally, wrap up with exactly how to get started. Let's jump in.
All right, part one, executor to orchestrator, the paradigm shift.
Think about the traditional engineering structure for a second. You've got this massive payroll, right? Junior and senior devs, tech leads, architects, DevOps, QA, support staff. It's slow, it requires endless meetings, and honestly, it's insanely expensive. But in a modern, AI-first structure, instead of hiring a new person every time there's a bottleneck, you leverage interconnected, automated systems. We're talking autonomous agents, orchestration frameworks, and self-hosted infrastructure all talking to each other seamlessly.
And it really all boils down to this core idea: you don't manage people anymore. You design systems that manage themselves. Seriously, let that sink in. Your job is no longer to assign a ticket to a junior developer. Your job is to design the machine that automatically handles that entire class of problems.
Okay, moving to part two, let's meet your AI developers, the coders.
This is where it gets incredibly cool, because we can now map familiar human roles directly to specific open source repos. First up, handling your junior developer role is OpenHands. This isn't just an autocomplete tool, it's an AI software engineer. It actually reads your GitHub issues, writes the code, runs the tests, and opens the PRs. You assign it problems, not tasks. Next, stepping in as your mid-level developer, we've got Aider. Aider lives right inside your terminal. It understands your entire codebase context, edits across multiple files, and auto-commits with clean messages. It literally replaces hours of manual typing with intent-driven development. And finally, acting as your direct AI teammate is Cline. Cline sits right in your IDE, like VS Code, navigates your project, runs terminal commands, and even tests your app in a browser to autonomously fix bugs. It's like having a peer developer sitting right next to you.
Now, part three, management and architecture, because structuring the chaos is absolutely crucial. Having incredibly fast developers is pretty useless if you don't have leadership. So let's look at the management stack. First, Claude Taskmaster is your project manager. It turns chaos into structure, taking your PRDs, your product requirement docs, and converting them into distinct tasks, tracking dependencies to guide the build. Next, CrewAI steps in as your tech lead. This is where you level up to multi-agent systems, creating autonomous crews with specific roles, working in event-driven pipelines. And finally, LangGraph is your system architect. This is your production backbone. It provides stateful workflows and durable execution. Without LangGraph giving your system memory, your agents will just inevitably lose context and break down.
Okay, part four, automating ops and support, keeping the lights on. Software doesn't just run in a vacuum, but with these four repos, you bypass cloud complexity entirely. First, N8N is your operations team. With over 400 integrations, it connects everything using hybrid visual and code workflows. Then, Coolify handles DevOps. It's a completely self-hosted alternative to something like Versal. You just git push to deploy, and it handles the SSL and databases for you. No DevOps engineer needed. PostHog replaces your QA and data team. You stop guessing and start measuring everything: product analytics, session replay, error tracking, the whole shebang. Finally, Chatwoot is your customer support team. It's an omni-channel inbox with AI built in to crush repetitive customer queries, making your support scalable on day one. Comparing these workflows, you can clearly see how your daily grind completely shifts. The old way was a manual sequence. You write code, test it, deploy it, and monitor it yourself. The new workflow? It's all about high-level strategic direction. You define the goal. Then your agents plan, your systems execute, your tools monitor, and the AI iterates. You are literally steering the ship, not rowing the oars.
All right, part five, the reality check. Let's ground this for a second.
Look,
Let's be real, this does not mean human engineers are suddenly useless or that everything is magically 100% automated. If you leave these systems alone, they will break. Human oversight is absolutely still required. What this actually means is that your leverage as an engineer just multiplied by 10 to 100 times. With that kind of leverage, small, agile teams will easily outmaneuver large, bloated ones. Speed becomes your ultimate unbeatable advantage.
Which brings us to part 6, how to get started, the practical guide.
Please don't try to boil the ocean here. Follow these 4 simple steps. Step 1, pick just one tool to augment your own coding. Start with either Aider or Cline. Step 2, use that single tool to ship just one feature. Get a real feel for what intent-driven development is actually like. Step 3, once you're comfortable, add NN to 810 to automate some workflows and plug in PostHog so you have visibility on what you just shipped. And step 4, only when you've got those basics down should you start scaling into complex, multi-agent workflows with CrewAI.
The single biggest takeaway from this whole explainer is a massive mindset shift. You are no longer building software. You are designing systems that build software.
So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought as you look at your own projects. You honestly don't need a massive team of 10 people to scale your product anymore. You just have to ask yourself, do you have the right 10 repos?